Welcome to the Charlie's Cavalry Coaches Show. I'm your host, John Moses. Later in today's show, we'll honor our Student Athlete of the Week and talk men's basketball with Ted O'Talley. But for now, we'll talk with head coach of the women's team, Jessica Smith. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Well, in your most recent game against Assumption, you made a change in the starting five. You went with Audrey Cunningham instead of Ashley LeBlanc. What were you trying to accomplish with that change?
It was mostly a defensive change due to the fact that Assumption has two really undersized players at the post position, and Kelly Meredith is their best player and probably up for possible NA10 Player of the Year. And she, I think, would have been really challenging for Ashley to guard. And so it wasn't anything that Ashley did, or it was just a matchup issue.
Yeah, right. I mean, Ashley's played really well the last couple of weeks. I mean, you said it yourself on the show last week. I mean, she fits really well with your offense.
Yeah, no, she's been doing a great job. It was just a matchup issue, and we had a lot of success the first time we played them, having smaller posts on them and being able to utilize Ayana and Bria and that kind of thing, and we were hoping that we could recreate that.
Well, Bria Moore turned in another great game against Assumption. She recorded another double-double. Make her case for Northeast 10 Rookie of the Year.
Well, I think she's been the most consistent rookie. I mean, in terms of playing at a certain level this whole entire season. She's definitely been our steady hand and somebody that we can rely on consistently. I think, obviously, you know, she puts up the numbers with points and rebounds, and she plays a lot, and she also defends. So I think she's definitely a viable candidate right now.
Bria Moore turned in another great game against Assumption, recording another double-double. Make her case for Northeast 10 Rookie of the Year.
Well, I think she's been the most consistent out of all the rookies in terms of her play throughout the whole entire season. She's been our second leading scorer and leading rebounder the entire year. So I think she is a viable candidate due to those numbers and what she's done for us all year.
Yeah, and in that first half against Assumption, she was really the only big on the floor for your team, and the lane was just wide open for her. She could take anything she wanted. She got a lot of offensive rebounds. Tell us about that first half for her.
Yeah, mostly it was a matchup thing because, you know, they are undersized as well in the post, and I think it plays to her advantage, and she was able to utilize it, so it was good.
So let's take a look at a highlight here where you get some transition defense turning into some offense.
Yeah, we utilize our three-quarter court press for the majority of the game, just to slow their offense down. They're really efficient offensively. If we got turnovers out of it, that was a bonus. So right here, great trap by Audrey and Bria. Ando attacks and drops it off to Bria for the layup.
And, you know, in the first half of this game, I mean, she had so much success. It was just right on point. The matchup was really great for her. But, you know, talk about where she's shown the most improvement this season.
Honestly, it's actually been in the last couple of weeks. It's been more of a focus, the ability to push herself through. She used to kind of break down a little bit when she started getting tired, forget things, you know, make a lot of mental errors. And now she's pushing through and able to stay consistent for a longer period of time.
So let's take another look at another highlight for Bria.
This is one of our out-of-bounds plays for her. It's a clear out. So we just clear everybody out so she can rack it to her right and get to the rim.
Yeah, what I like about this is that she's matched up with a girl that's a lot bigger than her, can't stay with her on the perimeter. She just faces up and goes right. I mean, she can really take some girls off the dribble that are bigger.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we were trying to utilize as much as possible.
When we spoke last time on this show, you talked about really liking the element of coaching where you go back and you look at an opponent and how they played you and what adjustments to make. How do you think you adjusted to Assumption?
Well, if we just go on the first half, I think it was good. I think the second half was a little more challenging. We had trouble scoring, and their transition is they're just really, really, really intense when they run in transition off of turnovers. So if you're not scoring or you're turning the ball over, it's really hard to stop them. But defensively overall, when it was 5-on-5, we played pretty good defense, and I thought we made some good adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, one stat that really stuck out to me is you had 20 points in the paint in the first half, just 0 in the second half. I thought Assumption's defense really stepped up, forced you to be a jump shooting team.
Absolutely, and I think it was a little frustrating for our team because they weren't getting the looks that they were used to getting. So Assumption was making us go to like our third and fourth option, which we were having trouble making those reads.
So let's take a look at a couple more highlights here. Three-point shooting is very important, and in this game, you hit a couple of big ones.
Yeah, I think this actually is probably one of our best offensive possessions of the whole entire game, where Bria found the open window, which is the weak side, and then we made the extra pass for 3. And then in this clip, it started on the defensive end. One of our big focus areas going into the game was boxing out, keeping the ball out of the paint. And so that was, a good box out right there. We knew it was going to be a battle.
That's a heck of a rebound by
yeah,
Audrey.
And then Audrey rips the rebound and then runs hard in transition, and we find her, and she knocks down the 3. So it was a good sequence for her.
So let's go back to your first meeting with Lemoyne, a 79-63 win. Let's go back and talk about what went right on that day.
Well, the first half was pretty even, kind of back and forth. Wasn't really a clean game. We ended up getting a couple baskets at the end of the half and put ourselves in the lead at halftime. Came out in the second half, struggled a little bit. They cut the lead, and then at the end, to be perfectly honest, that was the game that Bria. It's the Bria show today, everyone. Hit 3 consecutive three-pointers and put the game totally out of reach down the stretch. So, it was a big play by her.
Right, an inside-outside presence, somebody that can step outside. You force a big defender to come out against her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's really shown off the total package in the second half of the year.
Yeah, no, definitely. And once again, this is another good matchup for her in a different way because the Lemoyne's very big. So they always have to put one of their bigs on her, so then we move her more to the outside so she can utilize that skill set.
What adjustments do you envision making to tomorrow's game against Lemoyne?
Honestly, it's a post defense. They're a post-oriented team. So we're going in with one game plan, but also have like 2 options to, change up how we're guarding the post. So that would be something to look at. And the other aspect of it is there's one of their players at the beginning of the year wasn't really playing as well as she is now, Morgan Rowland, and she's really playing well, like just putting up good numbers, shooting a high percentage. So how we play her and how we kind of make her take hard shots is going to be a key.
I think Aquillan Hayes really has terrific potential to be a great player in this league. What improvement have you seen in her from day one until today?
Most recently, honestly, it's just going hard for longer periods of time, whether that's in practice or in games. She's always been a good rebounder, so that comes really naturally to her. She's really worked hard on her defense. She could be a phenomenal defender. She just has to become more disciplined. So those are areas and then she's working on her three-point shooting. But we'll wait till next year for that to come out.
Right. I mean, she has just some impressive physical tools, and I mean, saw that in the last game, 13 rebounds in something like 26 minutes before fouling out.
Yeah. No, and yeah, her 2 fouls to foul out were the undisciplined ones that we're trying to eliminate. But she just loves to rebound. It's her favorite part of the game, so it's fun for her.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, how many players really, that's sort of a lunch pail type thing, sort of that blue collar type to embrace rebounding like that? I mean, that's sort of interesting.
Yeah, she likes that, and obviously she likes blocking shots. That's where she gets half of her fouls. So if she can kind of be a little bit more disciplined in that area and a little bit more disciplined in rebounding, she's gonna get a lot better.
Well, with 4 games left here in the regular season, what areas are you looking to evaluate for next season's team?
Well, I think we're just going to keep on getting better every day. I mean, we actually just put in a couple new kind of sequences within the dribble drive, little nuances in it to change it up a little. There's a book like this thick, so I'm giving them a couple more pieces to kind of use the last couple of games. And defensively, we want to continue to improve and trust each other more and work on our teamwork. So those are the areas that I really want to see us continue to improve in.
Yeah, and when you have a young team like this, it's important not to try to give them too much too quickly. I mean, and do you feel like you haven't overloaded them? Do you feel like you've given them the right amount for this year?
Yeah, I do. I maybe pulled the reins back a little too much, but I really wanted us to be good at the basics of the offense first and then add in all the little things that you can do afterwards. So that's why I was excited. We put these in yesterday. We'll see how they do on Saturday.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for your time. Good luck this weekend and coming up.
Thanks.
When we come back, we'll honor our Student Athlete of the Week and talk men's basketball with head coach Ted O'Taling. This is the Charlie's Cavalry Coaches Show. Welcome back to the Charlie's Cavalry Coaches Show. I'm your host, John Moses. Now to recognize this week's Student Athlete of the Week, women's track and field jumper Callista Hutchinson. The Adams, New York native was named the Northeast 10 Conference Female Field Athlete of the Week after an impressive performance at the Gegengak Invitational last week. Hutchinson won the high jump with a height of 1.65 meters and took home first in the long jump with a career best 5.34 meters. This season, the junior has also competed in the triple jump, the 200-meter dash, and as a member of the 4x400-meter relay team. Earlier this week, I caught up with Callista while she prepared for the Valentine Invitational. I'm joined now by our Student Athlete of the Week, Callista Hutchinson, and you actually go by Callie, but so when did you start doing track and field, and when did you realize you were passionate about it?
I started track at about 8th grade, and I guess I became passionate at it when about 9th or 10th grade when I moved up to varsity.
Now, you do both the high jump and the long jump. Which do you like more and why?
I enjoy high jump better. I'm not really sure why. Probably because I've been doing high jump longer, so I'm more familiar with it.
Now, in your most recent meet, you placed first in both the high jump and the long jump, and you were selected as the Northeast 10's Women Track Athlete of the Week. What does that award mean to you?
I guess I'm just happy. I never thought I would get that. I've never been like the standout in long jump. High jump's more of my strength, so I was ecstatic about it. My dad's proud, so.
Yeah, I mean, do you put a lot into personal accolades?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Now, Callie, you've shown great improvement in long jump this season, going from 4.75 meters in your first meet to 5.33 in your most recent one. What do you attribute that improvement to?
Everything's just clicked. Coach Williams has been really good with like the drills and explaining everything, and that I guess this year everything has just finally clicked into place and I understand it.
Now, Callie, how does doing the high jump differ from doing the long jump from a physical standpoint?
I guess just the technique of it, really. I do 10 steps in both, but it's what happens when you take off the ground, I guess, is the real main difference.
Do you do any kind of special drills or stretches to get your body ready to do a jump event?
For high jump, I do bridges, a lot of like back over stuff, and long jump, I do a lot of finishing drills, like into the pit, just getting my legs out in front of me so I get a better landing. Now,
what do you do to get prepared mentally for a meet? Some people will listen to music to try to get themselves pumped up. Others will sit alone in a corner. Do you have a special way to get prepared mentally?
Not really at the whole warming up aspect with my friends. I like to just stay relaxed. I don't want to stress out too much about it. My routine comes when I'm about to jump, like getting ready to do my run through. That's when my routine shows up.
Well, Callie, thanks so much for your time. Good luck the rest of the season, and we look forward to a great season in the outdoor season.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the studio. That was our Episode 2 Student Athlete of the Week, Callista Hutchinson. On the other side of this break, we'll talk men's basketball with head coach Ted O'Taling. This is the Charlie's Cavalry Coaches Show.